Hello, my name is Mario Di Leone, and today I'm here to bring you eye movement integration for first responders and crisis workers. Who am I? I am the host of Voices of Victory podcast, where we talk about all things that are mental, psychological, self esteem based, and of course, most of all, leadership based. That being said, I'm going to give an overview of EMI as an emotional reset technique to support trauma processing and resilience in high stress professions. Let's go ahead and get down to business right off the bat. I waste no time. I am direct, I'm cut and dry, and I will deliver exactly what is needed. If you have any questions, comment below, like, subscribe, share this with other first responders. Now, why am I doing this, by the way? I have a literal ancestral bloodline that goes way back in the military. That's first off. Plus, I have many family and friends that are first responders, crisis workers, all different particular fields out in the trenches, if you will. Well, let's go ahead and get started. What is eye movement integration? First of all, it's called EMI. EMI is a technique designed to help individuals process and integrate those traumatic memories. What happens more often than not is you have a memory, but you got to remember a memory could just be a memory. However, if there's an emotional charge behind it and the physiology of your body starts to change, rapid breathing, sweating, panic attacks, heart palpitations, all of that good stuff start to be connected to a very memory, then it's something to actually utilize as a tool. EMI can be that tool to help you. So I want to share with you, it is especially beneficial for first responders and crisis workers exposed to high stress, high trauma environments. It derives from trauma-focused therapies. I am not a therapist. I'm going to be straight up right here, right now, right on this show. This is going to be used for emotional reset and reintegration when you're out in the field and you had a very tough experience, for example, and you need something to support you. So it has derived from EMDR, eye movement desensitization, reprocessing, but EMI is a little bit moving it in a different direction. It aims to reduce emotional distress and improve psychological resilience. I'd like to say that EMI, to me, leans more towards the non-therapy aspect of it. There's some people that use it in their therapy professions, but EMI can be used by the common person. Let's understand that. Now, let's go forward from here. So what does it do? Well, EMI integration, it helps reduce emotional distress by using specific eye movement patterns to reprocess those traumatic memories or feelings, promoting emotional resolution and mental clarity. So what is the utility behind it and why do we care? It's fast, non-invasive technique, ideal for trauma recovery, stress reduction, and reintegration, especially effective for crisis professionals needing to emotionally reset out in the field without that deep verbal aspect of having to speak to somebody about it, although it does help because it allows you to emotionally reflect. So I'd like to say that this is really aimed, this EMI lesson is aimed directly towards people that need to reintegrate themselves each day and process what has happened and use it as a tool to literally reset themselves after an experience. And that's what it's all about. I want you to think of it as an ongoing practice, not a silver bullet. So first thing I want to share. Let's go forward from here. Well, why EMI for first responders and crisis workers? First of all, first responders, they face emotionally intense situations that lead to what we call cumulative stress, also known as PTSD. So this is going to be helpful to kind of avoid falling or moving in those PTSD directions. You can use EMDR for PTSD directly. You can indeed do that. I'm here to kind of introduce EMI as a daily practice for those people that are going to be out in the trenches. So what does it do? It facilitates the rapid emotional processing, reducing the impact of traumatic events. Let me explain that one more time in case you didn't hear it. Reducing the impact of traumatic events. So it offers a nonverbal, accessible, and immediate method to manage stress in the field. It can be integrated into broader mental health programs should you decide to go in that direction. So what we're doing is adapting EMI for crisis situations. So you can do modified sessions lasting about 10 to 15 minutes long for acute stress. Uh, I'd say do as long as you need, based on how you feel. But based on your time out in the field, 10 minutes, you grab what you can. You grab what you can as best as you can. You can use visual aids like hand movements. You can actually use your hands, or you can use light pens. I don't recommend a laser pointer or something that's really going to hurt your eyes. That's first off. Then, of course, you could follow up with a therapist or resources for deeper aspects of therapy. This is going to be used for reintegrating your emotions during the day. You had a terrible day. You really had an emotional charged moment where there's visuals, you're seeing things, you're hearing things, there's an emotional charge behind it, and you need to reset yourself to kind of bring you back to that moment so you can just jump right back into the job and kind of go from there. So I want to share that with you. You can use it as a tool to reset yourself throughout the day. The mechanism of EMI, what it does primarily is it uses bilateral brain stimulation. Your brain is getting stimulated both left and right side through the guided eye movements. These movements, they activate a neural pathway in the brain, because that's a pathway of the brain, that help reprocess and integrate the fragments or pieces of traumatic memories. So you got to remember, you might hear something, you might see something, you might smell something, you might remember a touch or something kinesthetic for that matter. So what you're actually doing is allowing yourself to get that reset and integrate those traumatic memories to prevent and support you in terms of mental health and wellness and well-being for crisis workers and first responders. So the brain is encouraged to file. That's what happens. Our brains make a mental blueprint of the experience, and we get bits and pieces and fragments. So the brain is encouraged to file these traumatic events as past memories. And the whole thing, when you do EMI reduces that emotional charge, because you could have a memory, the memory will do nothing. It will do absolutely nothing. It'll just be a thought. It'll just be a memory piece. It'll be a recall, but there's no emotional charge behind it. There's no physiological change in the body. So the whole point when you do EMI is to separate that emotional charge from the actual memory. So you could have the memory, but not the emotional charge, and not your physiological aspects of your body change, like heart palpitation, heart racing, cold sweat, sweating, nightmares at night. Come on, let's be real. We all know what it's like. So I know people out there that have experienced this. Now, with that being said, EMI can address the specific incidents or the cumulative stress that actually is there. Let's go from here. So the EMI in action, as a case study, a firefighter experiencing flashbacks after a rescue operation underwent an EMI session. The session helped reduce distress and regain focus. The outcome included improved mental clarity and reduced the emotional burden. Of course, being able to go through your day without the cold sweats, without the random emotional charges, right? Without the things that trigger an event that spark that memory along with that emotional charge. And then all of a sudden your body is sweating and you're having a panic attack on the spot. Okay. So let's go forward from here. So some key points to remember is you got to maintain focus on that distressed image. And that can be extremely hard because most people, when they have a visual memory, they don't want to recall it again. They really don't, right? But again, this is for people that need to reset out in the field. So maybe it's fresh in their mind so they can actually work on that right away. Maintain that focus on that image throughout the process and perform each eye movement for about 3 to 5 seconds. You are tracking the movement of your finger or the tip of a pen or an object. Repeat the sequence until the distress decreases. Your emotional distress, the actual distressing image could be at a level 10. If you get it down to a 5 or a 4 by doing this over and over again, eventually it could become a 0. That's what I really want to share with people. This indeed does work. I can tell you right off the bat. Let's go forward from here. It helps reduce emotional distress effectively. It supports integration. That's the key. It supports integration of traumatic memories. It can be self-administered with practice. Step 1 is identify the distressing image, like whatever the memories that, or pictures or visuals that you have in your head, identify them, that you want to, the one that you want to work on, and hold that image in your mind as you're proceeding to the next step. The next step, hold that image in your mind, keep that image firmly there, breathe deep, full lung capacity breathing, no exceptions throughout the process. Because this is going to help effectively integrate the eye movements with emotional experience, right? So that's step 2. Step 3 is you follow the eye movements. You can look to the far left for 3 to 5 seconds, far right, far left, far right, go left and right. If you look at the image on the left, you're going to see an X pattern. So again, your eyes would follow the tip of a finger in a big X pattern, top left, bottom right, top right, bottom left. And you should track them over and over again. Okay, and breathe deep. You're recalling the image, tracking the motions, and breathing deep as you do. So you have the X pattern, you have the up and down patterns, the right, middle, and left. You have horizontals, which are very functional. If you go above the eye line, they're functional as well. They're all functional, but you can go above the eye line. It works really well. Then you have your V patterns or triangles. You start by creating a triangle, okay? And breathe deep while you do this. Recall the image, trace the pattern, breathe deep. And then you have your X patterns as well. So this is the most important step. So it's like recall the image, keep it in your mind, try to visualize it, picture it in front of you, try to visualize it in your head, follow the fingers, follow the object, breathe deep, repeat, and then ask yourself from a scale of 1 to 10, kind of where you are. How is it now? Are you at a 5? Are you at a 4? And the more you do this, the more you are literally scrambling those images and sensations in a way that you can process it. It's real simple. That's the best way to put it. Think of it this way. You have a neural pathway in the brain. It's like a record, an old vinyl record, or a CD or a DVD, right? So if you have a DVD, CD, or vinyl record, it has the grooves on it that runs a pattern. Your brain is like that. It runs a pattern. So imagine taking a DVD and taking a needle, scratching it up. That pattern will never run the same way again. So when you start doing EMDR, it helps you process everything, but it also can scramble a lot of those things in a way that is going to help you weaken and eventually dissolve that emotional charge that you're constantly feeling. Let's go on to the next step. Step 4 is continue the eye movement sequence over and over again. Recall the image, go back to the sequence, breathe fully and deep. Okay. And then do a little journaling on the side if you can. You can journal on your phone. If you're under adrenaline, you're not going to have the fine motor skills and may not be able to do that, but you could always record yourself. You can audio, maybe you can try to do it that way. So I just want to share that with you. Or you could reflect with another human being. As simple as that. Let's go forward from here. So step 5 is repeat the sequence, repeat the entire movement sequence 2 or 3 times till the distress reduces significantly. The repetition helps in processing and integrating the distressing memory. That's what it's all about. Last but not least, check. Step 6 is check the distress. So this is the scale of 1 to 10 that I talked about. Assess the intensity of your distress on a scale from 1 to 10. If the distress is high, repeat the eye movement sequence as needed. If you can't do it, try to do it later on. Again, this is for people that need that quick emotional integration or emotional reset out in the field. That's what this is for. All right. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your attention. My heart goes out to each and every one for what you do. Your jobs are not easy. I think it is so crucial to know. Keep in mind, first responders, friends, family. It's in my bloodline. I consider military like a first responder. I consider firefighters, paramedics, all first responders. Again, have a great day. Feel free to, I've opened up the comments on this video. Feel free to comment below.